I was looking at his hat, just chilling. Did you get your Bojangles? Oh, I didn't know you could get in trouble. You texted. Oh man, should have told us. Should have told me before. Oh, big week. You dropped all your stuff, Ken. Ready to go, man. What do you guys got?
Yeah, Coach, what would be some of the keys as you get back on the grass to get ready for the Panthers?
Always execution. Right now we're in the process of figuring out the game plan, distributing the game plan to the guys, getting these guys out there and practicing the things that we want to get done, both offensively, defensively, and special teams, and really feel good about the early start, the plan that we got going on from the meetings and the standpoints that we got going on, and some of the preparation from the days leading up to this. Obviously had the late time back, and the coaches did a great job getting stuff ready for the guys, so I'm fired up.
I mean, they're pros, but, coming off a big win like that in prime time, you got to, I guess there's some grounding at some point. You got to get back to work and take care of business. You have to sense that.
I think the big part for us is just teaching our rookies. You got a lot of rookies playing for us, a lot of young players, first and second year players playing for us. So it's just like letting those guys know that every week in the National Football League is prime time. No matter what's going on, no matter what's happening. I think they're all really big football games. This particularly is a division game, and the energy, out there in Minneapolis was absolutely outstanding and crazy. And then when it goes to a 1 o'clock game, sometimes that energy changes. That energy sometimes is great, but you got to always bring the same energy that you bring to every game. And obviously we feed off the fans, feed off the crowd, so that's always awesome. But it's a little different when it's a primetime game, and it's just a learning process of teaching that to young guys.
And any update on A.J. Terrell or any of the other injury folks?
No, obviously, A.J. hurt his hamstring in the game. He won't be in practice today, clearly. And we'll get a better feel for that as we go. We'll let the reports that come out after practice on what the official status is. I don't get into all that stuff with you guys. I'll let David handle that, but we'll get it to you guys.
How much did the Week 18 game last year stick with you into the offseason?
No, I don't carry things like that. That's not my deal. I think all of the games that you win, lose, draw, stick with you in the offseason. You take those things and you learn from them, you grow from them. You get a chance to go back and look at the season and evaluate all those things. Obviously, you're not supposed to like the Panthers, and we don't. That's easy. So, it doesn't matter, what week it was or what happened. That game would have been probably meant a little bit more if we would have went the other way in that other game and we didn't win that football game. We probably would have felt a little differently, but it didn't. Luckily for us, because then you really have some things to lay on when it talks about those things. But I always take all those games the same. You win from losses, you win from wins, and you got to find ways to get better every single week.
Just thought back to AJ real quick. Would you say he's day to day at this point? Is that fair?
I'd say week to week. See how it goes. We'll get a good feel for all that stuff. As it goes. Obviously those hamstrings are tricky. You don't want to rush those things back, but you don't want to shortchange a great player either.
Just to reflect a little bit on Sunday again, Parker Romo, comes in. He's with the team for 5 days, kicks 5 field goals, 50-yard plus one, tough crowd. Just talk about, him and what he was able to do on short notice.
I just think, that was the definition of role clarity. When it's your job to go out there and make kicks, you just got to go out there and do it. And from a coaching standpoint, when you send people out there, you just expect them to do their job, and you want them to do their job, and you try to put them in the best position to do their job. I think the people around them played well, that the snap was great, the hold was great, the kick was great, and they went through. And for the most part, that's all you can really grade, and that's all you can look at and be that efficient. I was proud of how he responded on a short week, coming in, meeting flow, thanks to you guys. I thought all that was great, man, but it's just it's one of those things where you get an opportunity, you got to take advantage of it, and he definitely did.
That was the next question. You guys gonna have a little meet and greet for Parker this week, just to make sure he's up to speed on everyone's names and so on.
I think everybody knows his name right now, which is kind of how you want it sometimes as a kicker, right? And I think most people know his name, and he'll get a chance to move around and do some of those things. Last week wasn't necessarily the Kumbaya week. It was the get out there, let's line him up and see who's kicking for us.
If AJ's not able to play on Sunday, do you know who would kind of step up in his absence, or is that kind of going to be a competition this week?
Definitely make it a competition. We always do that, but obviously last week we ended it and we put Glow out there. He got a chance to finish it for us. He did a nice job, had a knockdown pass, had some really good tackles. He was able to go out there and play for us. Obviously Billy plays inside, Mike Hughes plays on the other side, and then we got people like Clark on the roster. We have, people on our practice squad that potentially get flexed up. We want to have those guys go out there and compete at a very high level this week in order to figure out who gets the best opportunity. But I always want to make it as defined as I can, right? We got Clark coming off the injury he had from the preseason, trying to get back into the mix. Great opportunity for him. Obviously, we picked up C.J. Henderson. Obviously, we've been kind of, our Swiss Army knife and Natron Books, right? Playing safety, playing nickel, playing outside. So, like, all of those guys having the opportunity to go compete for helmets, to compete, to get on the grass, to help us win is something that we look forward to doing.
How refreshing was it to see your defense perform the way that they did, and how can you make sure that you can sustain it and it wasn't just like this one-time little blip?
Allison is our defense, and I think they've been pretty consistent throughout the season, and I think those guys have been a nice job of really determining what they want to go out there and do every single week. And I don't think it's something that, that you didn't see coming. You kind of felt it that first week, how we were going, how we were rushing the quarterback. Obviously Baker made some phenomenal plays and changed that game, right? But you felt the guys coming. You felt the intensity. You felt the ability to stop the run. You felt the pressures. You felt us getting around the quarterback. We let him out, and he got away. And then we kind of talked about that, put some highlights around those things, and they did a nice job of really keeping him contained. I think he might have got out one time, the quarterback, and that was a big part of what we wanted to do. And those guys flying around, getting the production from the rookies, and really the second-year players with Rook and Dorless and some of those guys that really stepped up, I thought was a lot of fun to watch.
How impressive is it, though, to see, like, 4 of your rookies be able to do something like that in just week 2 of the season? It
was cool, but at the same time, I've been watching it all offseason. I've been watching it throughout the evaluation process, throughout camp. Get a chance to watch those guys play a little bit in the preseason, was something that you kind of had some feel. But for the world, it was great, especially at a primetime game. And, Chris Collinsworth and those guys announcing it is always going to be huge. Those guys are big-time crew in the lights. Those are always things that are going to, glow a little bit.
To that end, I think externally outside here, we would have thought of the offense, all the first round picks and so forth is going to be where you hang your hat. But is it possible that you have to maybe depend more on defense than maybe most of us would have thought?
I don't know, Ken. Like, it's week to week, how things go. But, like, when you run for 200 yards and 230 yards, I don't think we just depended on defense. That was a part of playing 47 snaps of defense. That was a part of ball control. That was a part of watching Bijan be the best player in football. So, like, it'd be hard for me to say that we relied just on defense. Our special teams played a lights-out game when it came to coverage, and watching Mike Ford go out there and cover kicks, and really D. Alford cover kicks, and really DeMarco Helms cover kicks. That was an all-out team win, and it was just something that we was able to do. Now, what do we have to do better on offense is punching in the red zone when we get down there 5 times, right? We're only able to get in there once, and you would like to see those guys get in the red zone. But, like, that's just a part of daily improvement, our own improvement. But I think our offense did a nice job of going out there. We challenged them to run the football last week. They came out, they ran the football beyond expectation, which is really good to see.
Do you think Bijan's one of the best or one of the best players in football?
There ain't no doubt about it.
He does?
He does?
You said the best player in football.
He's definitely the best player in football, like, in my head. I don't care. He's unbelievable. Like, I love the kid. I love everything about him. I love watching him with the ball. I love his confidence. I love his demeanor. I love his mindset. I love the leadership. I love everything about him. And, like, it is what it is. I love the kid.
How do you evaluate Bryce Young, since he is still such a young quarterback, but that team has had its struggles overall?
You watched him get better, throughout last year, and we were a part of that, him getting better at the end of the season. He came out, he struggled early last year. He got a chance to get his spot back. He went out there, was able to go out there and earn it back, and then when he got back, he was really able to go out there and execute the offense. They did some nice things down the stretch, and they wanted to come out and continue that this year. They had a little bit of slow start in the first 2 games, but they really roared back, particularly in that last one, making that a tighter game than you thought it would have been at the beginning of that game. And, like, this kid's got a bunch of talent. I hate to call him a kid. This grown man's got a bunch of talent. He's able to distribute the ball across the field. They're doing some really good things that they were able to do on offense in the pass game particularly, and he'll continue to get better.
Going back to Bijan for a second, the eye test, you know what he brings. I mean, you watch him, you know how electric he is, the cuts, all of that. But from your perspective, what are some of the things that he does that make him so different?
Wow. Unique skill set, unbelievable vision, unbelievable teammate, speed, physicality, You know, like you come across when you first meet him, you're thinking he's a scat back, but he's really just everything. He has the ability to get out of the backfield, run receiver-like routes. He can stay in the backfield and block whichever linebacker you decide to bring. He just does it all, and we might line him up at quarterback this week. Who knows?
So it's definitely Bijan and not Bijan.
It's Bijan, and I messed it up all the time.
But he said
What'd he say?
He goes by Bijan, but it's Bijan.
I'll ask him in the hallway. Whatever he wants me to call him, that's what I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him what he wants me to call him.
Raheem, Mike hasn't been able to kind of take the top off of defense here in these first couple weeks, which we kind of understand to be the strength of his game. He's obviously got that really strong arm.
Sure.
What do you think about that? And generally, like, does that speak more to his ability to take some of the underneath stuff and not be impatient?
I think Mike is just growing and developing as our quarterback, and like he's doing whatever it takes to win. You know, he's displayed gotta have it moments in that first game when he had to go have them, and they were taking away the deep stuff. And then this game, he was handing the ball to whatever he wants to go by this week, and really allowing him to affect the game at a high level. When he had to make a couple plays, you know, the line, the lookie, the couple throws he had to make to win that football game, he was able to go out there and make. And I just think he's just doing his role, doing his job every single week. And like those things will come, you know, like the one thing he knows and one thing he has confidence in is ability to throw the ball down the field. But if he's not going to force it, you know, if you don't give it to him, he won't take it. If it's open, you'll see those balls go up and down. But right now, if they create that much space for some of the other guys, that's just how it's going to go down.
Eventually, though, I feel like because he's so talented, he can do so many things. Like teams will start to try to like game plan for him. But how much trust and how much is allowed to like open up the offense, knowing the talent that you have.
Which one, Bijan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think game planning for him started week one. I mean, like there's no doubt in my mind about that. You know, like but 1 week he goes for 100 yards receiving, the next week he goes for 150 yards rushing. You know, he's tough to game plan for. You know, you want to limit him and do some of those things, but he's definitely tough to game for. I'm glad he's on my football team.
On that opening drive against Minnesota, I believe there was a timeout call, and there may have even been a delayed game. Ultimately, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, we took the delay game.
What was the breakdown there? Was it just the noise, the pure noise, just affecting?
Yeah, that was on us. You know, we had some stuff that we want to get across to the headset that we couldn't get to Mike, allow him to get that stuff off. So we just, instead of rushing that thing, going out there, putting together a really bad 4th and 1, we took the delay, kicked the field goal, kept it moving. We're able to adjust and, you know, not really having much trouble throughout the day and the noise. You know, Mike, that's another thing about Mike, man, handling that environment. That environment was one of the tougher environments in football. And so him to be able to go out there and handle that, and really that being like one of our only snafus in the night when it came to operational things on offense, I thought that was outstanding by him. That's another real kudos to him, kudos to Zach, kudos to all those guys coaching. Like that's phenomenal, especially with that environment.
I remember during training camp, Brandon Dorlus was someone that you were very excited about. What's your assessment of him through 2 games?
The same, you know, like watching him go out there the other night, just having fun. You know, he presents some captain-like abilities up front with his ability to go out there and really lead that rush front to get those guys going. You know, he gets caught out there in some other situations that he's able to play really well into, like in our rundown stuff and normal D&D. So watching him go out there and play just about anything, being at set edges or being able to go inside and really be a rush force for us and really get those guys to coordinate that rush. He was a big part of us not allowing the quarterback to get out of the pocket and actually get him on the ground and finish this week. So I was very proud of him.
Did you hear the viral? I forget what lineman was it. The giggle.
That was Dorlus.
It was Dorlus. Okay, yeah.
I did hear it, you know, because you go back and watch some TV copies, take some stuff off, and I actually caught it live on the broadcast. So I thought it was pretty funny. The guy jumped off sides, he giggled. It is what it is. That's pretty cool.
All right, who's the second best player?
I don't know. I looked around. I just said Bijan because that's what I look at every single day. I'm probably being biased. I really don't care. I love it. Ken is the best player in football.
Glad somebody recognized.
Yeah, good quickness.